Saturday night. Welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Shall we start, as we always do, by taking a look at who's in my green room tonight? Of course we should. Here they are. My first guest has been making the nation laugh for over 30 years. He's one of our finest stand-up comedians, despite having a face that can turn milk sour. It is Mr. Jack D, ladies and gentlemen. Your face is your fortune, we know that. Also with us tonight, one of our most exciting acting talents. You'll know from The Hunger Games, you'll know from Game of Thrones, of course. It's the fabulous Natalie Dormer. Looking amazing. We have one of the hottest acts around. He swept the board at this year's Brits. He produced one of the fastest-selling debut albums of the decade. He was the smash of this year's Glastonbury, and I'm delighted to say he'll be chatting to me and also performing live for us at the end of the show tonight. It's Rag and Bone Man. Homegrown superstar. Hey, Roy, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Good.
And finally, and I'm excited, I'm always excited when I get the opportunity to interview this person, a truly great British cinema and TV icon, the wonderful, the irrepressible, the legendary Joan Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Joan, I apologise. I feel like I'm being disrespectful because Joan has been in the business for, well, a gentleman would never say how long, but she's been in the business for a while, and she's earned one of the highest accolades this country can bestow. She is a Dame Commander of the British Empire. Right. And I think that deserves some respect. So from now on, whenever if I say Dame Joan Collins, the full thing, I think we should all stand up. OK, hope you do it. So let's say on the show tonight, once again, Dame Joan Collins. Here we go. Hey.
Hey.
Jack.
No.
Jack.
Come on.
Dame.
Thank you.
When I introduce Joan Collins, you've got to stand up, Jack. No, when I say Dame Joan Collins. Dame Joan Collins. Actually, we won't get to any guests. We're just going to watch Jack stand up and sit down again. Thank you. By the way, ask Dame Joan Collins if she wants any peanuts. I'm regretting starting this already. All right, a remarkable thing happened last weekend. It started when Twitter user Simo198133, he tweeted, if you get your missus pregnant in the next week or so, you'll get 2 weeks off for paternity when the World Cup is on. Think ahead, lads. Which is it's smart thinking, forward planning. Now, I'm not saying that this has raised my suspicions or that what I'm about to show you is necessarily connected to that tweet in any way, but don't you think it's strange that 48 hours later, the nation woke up to this headline? Go on, get in, my son. It's been a mixed week for news. The world has been threatened with nuclear Armageddon, but on the upside, the kids went back to school, so it's... But some people had a really rotten week like this. I don't know if you saw this. These are some actual train spotters. And those of you who are train enthusiasts, you might be aware that this week the Flying Scotsman, probably the world's most famous steam train outside of the one that goes to Hogwarts, that's been on a very special nationwide tour. And one set of fans in East Anglia, they set up a camp at a level crossing, got their cameras out, all excited, where they could get the best possible view of this magnificent machine in action, OK? They took their positions several hours in advance, train spotters, of course, being known for their patience. And they waited for their dream moment to arrive, OK? Truly, they want to watch history unfold. A once-in-a-lifetime experience. Have a look at this footage they shot. It's quite beautiful.
Oh, look at this. Would you believe...
Oh, bloody hell. The poor guys. That's awful, isn't it?
OK. Let's get my first guest out. When life gives him lemons, he makes them into great comedy. It is the one and only Mr. Jack D, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you again, Jack.
It's good to see you, thank you.
OK, so you're getting to a certain age, Jack. Let's be honest.
I'm 40.
Yeah. And so are you conscious of that? Do you make an effort still to keep fit? Do you have any hobbies that get you out and about and keep you going?
You know, I'm luckily naturally athletic, so it hasn't been too much of a struggle. I try different sports all the time because I get bored quickly, and I played tennis for a while. I got bored of that. Once I'd reached a certain level, I thought it's not for me.
You weren't very good at tennis, though, were you?
That was the level I reached.
Well, your kids are not at home anymore, though, are they? They've moved out.
Well, the kids are, yeah, they're all at university. One has actually left university now, so I've got one come back. I've got 4 kids.
And so, was it nice in the brief period when they're away, or do you prefer having them with you? Or...
I wish they would all go away, I really do.
Do you have ground rules about, can they bring friends back, either regular friends or special friends?
It's too late for ground rules. It's
Wow.
too late for... I wasn't strict. I should have been a proper... like a Victorian father, and it's too late for that. Well, if you haven't done that all along, you can't suddenly be strict.
Can't suddenly drop the
when
hammer,
they want to
no.
bring people back and you know, have parties.
So do they have parties?
Of course they have parties. What do you think?
You let them have parties in your house. Where do you go when they're having the party?
I go to my other house.
Well, this isn't the sad tale that I expected it to be. You have the younger generation have a very different approach to recreational medicinal supplies than we do, for which I'm thinking mainly of marijuana and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to smoke that in the home? Do they smoke that kind of thing? Have you ever smoked that going on?
Never had it happen in my house.
Right.
Well, categorically, that has never, ever happened. And they... I couldn't... How can I answer that? I mean, I'll get them arrested, Jonathan. What do you want? The police come around, you know? But it is. It's a worry, and it's there. And you know, you think I've got to be an example to my kids, and but there's not very long before they realise you're not a good example. And
do you think seriously they will turn around and think you haven't been a good example?
Probably.
In which areas?
Last Christmas, my wife's family came over, and my brother-in-law left his car lights on all through lunch, so his car wouldn't start, and after lunch, and I said, it's okay, I've got jump leads, and so I'll get you started in a minute. Now, my car was too far away to reach his car with the jump leads, so I said, it won't be a problem, I'll just move the car forward, and it'll be there. It'll be fine, And Jane
So this was Christmas,
Jane says, you can't drive because you've been drinking. But I said, no, I'm not driving, I'm just moving the car a little bit. And I swear this is true. I get into the car, I'm trying to start it, I'm fumbling around, and a police car pulled up alongside me. So, you know, you're in charge of the keys, and, you know, this is a nightmare for me because I'm against drink driving, all these things. And I thought, I've lost my licence now, that's it. And the copper in the car, policeman, just looked at me and went, and drove off. Right? And I'm sitting there, which is when I realised I'd actually got into the back of the car.
Well, there you go. Well, that was a lucky escape then, really. Yeah. Now, Jack, this is exciting. Jack has a new situation comedy, a new sitcom that you're starring in and you've co-written.
Yeah.
And this is, it's not based on your life, this story, but I guess it has elements in it. What's the general premise?
It's about a couple. It's me there, and Kerry Godliman plays my wife. And we move to the middle of the countryside and decide we hate it. And it doesn't work out for us at all.
So you're townies who want to change your life.
Basically, yeah, and we think we're going to do it. And I got the idea from watching endless episodes of Escape to the Country. You ever watch that? And these couples are always looking around, and I was watching. There's a pattern that emerges with that show, is that they're nearly always on a second marriage. So they're trying to just restart themselves, reboot themselves somehow, and they make the mistake of doing this geographical move. At the end of every episode, it's always, you know, Janet and John decided not to buy that cottage, but they're still looking in the Cotswolds and da-da-da-da. But you never hear, Janet and John bought the house and it's been a total nightmare. So I thought we should write that. That's the one we'll write.
Let's have a look at the clip. It's a great title, Bad Move, it's called, and it's starting Wednesday, 20 September on ITV at 8 p.m. Have a look at this.
There you go.
So, what made you move out here then?
Oh, you know, we had enough of the city. I just fancied the countryside. You know, proper pubs.
Was there a pub here?
Well, not here, but there is one, not far away. And there's always the village shop for emergencies. That's really well stocked.
As long as you're happy.
Oh, we are.
Because some people move to a place like this, they spend a stack of money doing it up, get into so much debt that they can't afford to sell up, and then they're just, like, stuck.
Yeah. Well, that isn't us.
And so your character is kind of bumbling is the wrong word, but things happen to him, don't they?
Things happen to him, and the first episode is all about, well, it's based on a real-life experience that I had, where I had a knife sharpener came to the house and said that he'd sharpen all my knives. I liked that. I thought it was lovely to live in a place where you still got tinkers. coming to the door. I thought, you know, support the local artisans.
That shows you in a good light.
Yeah, I like to think so. So I handed over every knife, even the garden shears, everything went, the whole lot.
Everything pointed that could be sharpened.
Anything,
you
everything.
gave to this complete stranger.
Yeah, because I thought that's his living, and he was very convincing. Yeah. And I thought, well, why would he not be a knife sharpener if he says he does that? Why would you lie about that? Yeah. And then he says, to save time, what you can pay me now if you want. And so I did. I handed over 30 quid, and I never saw him again. He's gone. But you know, I still trust people, and I get ripped off every time. And that was in Balham. I wasn't even in the country. and then actually the other one. This is the one to look out for. A guy came to wash the car. Knocks on the door. I wash your car. It's across the road from the house, and I said, well, I don't really need it. But I thought, you know, he's trying. He's making his way, and I thought, give him a break. And Jane says, don't trust him. We keep being ripped off. Don't trust. And I said, come on. I don't want to live in a world where we don't trust people who don't want to wash your car for you. So, you know, he washes the car and comes back to the door 5 minutes later, and there, across the road, car's gleaming. So I thought to Jane, there you are. I'm right. Yeah. And give him the money and a bit more for doing a nice job. Yeah. About an hour later, I go out to the car. He's only washed the side of the car that you can see from the front door.
You sound like you... Generally, I hadn't realised this about you, but it sounds like you have quite a lot of bad luck in your life. You're like a magnet for bad things.
A lot of bad things have happened to me over the years.
Do you think you're responsible? Do you think maybe if you smiled more, you might get...
It's often when you try to do a nice thing for someone that it backfires. That's what I find. I bought a present for someone a couple of years ago. Funny enough, they had moved to the countryside. And so as a joke, because they're a bit nervous about it, as a joke, I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy them a baseball bat, right? And I'm going to get it with a plaque on it saying, this guy's called Michael, so it was Michael's Home Security.
Well, that's a fun gift.
A fun gift.
And it might come in handy.
Something to give him and something that genuinely might come in handy. Yeah. So I went into a sports shop, and it was a boiling hot day, and I had a baseball cap on and sunglasses, bought the baseball bat. They put it in a bag for me. And I thought, where am I going to get a plaque? So I walked into a jeweller's with it. I walked into a jeweller's and said, can I help you? And I pulled the baseball bat out of the bag, and all the shutters came down like that. Police arrived, and I had to explain what I'm... Because, yeah, the baseball bat and sunglasses, everything, you know. I had to explain that. It took about 2 hours to explain it. Do my best.
Your life is kind of strange, isn't it, Jack?
Well, it's regular. These things happen, you know. If you try and live your life properly.
So Jack's got a very funny new sitcom. As I said, it starts on Wednesday, the 20th of September, 8 p.m. on ITV. It's called Bad Move. And you know what you're going to do anymore? Is there another series planned yet?
Well, we've been asked the question, would you be writing some more scripts?
Yeah, so that's a good start.
So that's a good start, rather than, you know, can we have your computer back, please?
It's great to have you here. It's great to have you. Mr. Jack D, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Still to come on the show, I'll be joined by Natalie Dormer, Rag and Bowman, and of course, Dame Joan Collins. See you after the break. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. Let's get my next guest right out here. She's not just an iconic actress, she's also written several racy novels that are steamier than A Night in Wayne Rooney's Hatchback. Really please welcome the one and only Dame Joan Collins. As always, come on down, one of these steps. Joan Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Joan, how lovely to have you on the show again.
I know, it's wonderful.
You know what I love is the fact that you are still working, you're still doing movies, you're still doing everything. Joan has a new film out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
The time of their lives. Well, I mean, it's wonderful that there are parts still, and you're allowed to play a woman of your age in a movie. And it's similar, in some ways, to your actual life, of course, because she is someone who was a big star when she was younger, as well as...
Yeah.
And unlike you, though, she isn't currently.
Well, she was... she had a huge hit when she was, like, in her early 20s, and it went to her head.
and she abused it. She took drugs, she drank, she had affairs, and she did something really, really bad that absolutely destroyed her in Hollywood. So when we find her, which is many years later, she is in a retirement home, living by the sea, and she's come back to England to have her hip done. So she does it on the NHS.
Was it liberating for you? Was it fun? Because you're playing, obviously you're still glamorous in it, but you're playing someone who actually does wear regular clothes. You're not always glammed up, you're not always in the high heels. So was it nice to play someone like that?
Well, that's how I am around the house, mostly.
Would you be sloppy around the house? Would you ever do that?
Well, what do you call sloppy?
Well, you know, just lounging around in stretch pyjamas.
Yes,
and stuff.
of course.
You do that.
Yes, of course.
I can't relax
Really?
to that extent. I can't.
Yeah,
You don't wear stretch pyjamas?
Oh, no, I
don't
I
have
can't.
stretch pyjamas?
No, I don't. I won't go downstairs in my pyjamas. I have
What do
to
you
wear
do?
clothes, get dressed, put shoes on and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shock.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, I would have thought you were a stretchy pyjama type of guy.
No, no. It's just...
I want to show a clip for the film.
Oh, that was... yes,
because, so
please
I'm going
do.
to show you the trailer. It gives you a great idea of it. And it's you and it's Pauline Collins, who are fabulous together. OK, this is Time of Their Lives.
I can't go to France. Everybody in Hollywood is going to be there. You and I, we could have an adventure. You don't know me. Just keep moving, okay?
Madam?
I've no idea who she is, but she does look familiar. I feel like a teenager again.
Well, we're not getting any younger.
Why don't you help me to my room?
France? Are you going senile?
No.
You're Helen Shelley. You haven't changed.
Cheers. I'm too old for all this.
You're never too old.
I want another chance at life.
You can watch it online. You can get the DVD. It's out right now. So there's a bit of a romantic action with you and a younger man there.
Oh, yes, that scene. A very much younger man.
So did you enjoy the scene?
No, I hated it. I know, I was reading about Judi Dench, who says that she likes love scenes. I hate them. I have always hated them. They're embarrassing, and you have to be careful that your nose doesn't get in the way, that your lipstick doesn't get on the man's white shirt, that he doesn't squash your boobs.
Jack, have you done any love scenes in your acting?
One, and he squashed my boobs.
I had to do one love scene with an actor that I really disliked, and he really disliked me, and it was a nude scene.
Oh.
And it was not nice,
Who was it?
Jonathan. It was George Peppard.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed you answered that. I thought you were going to say I can't tell you.
No, he's dead, so...
OK. So that's what you call a win-win situation.
But I'll tell you about George Peppard. Everybody thinks he was so wonderful, but he was the original Blake in Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And he was
yeah.
fired because he was so... Well, I'm not going to say the word.
Difficult.
Yes.
Difficult to
that'll
work with.
do. Yeah.
But you, obviously, you've had a few marriages.
Yeah, I have.
OK.
Actually, 5. That's not that
5.
many.
Okay.
The first
Not that
one...
few either, though, is it?
Yeah, but I started very young, Jonathan. I was
know.
18.
I know. But you've been together with Percy...
15 and a half years.
15 and a half
We've been
years. So
married,
that's
yeah.
incredible. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Now, Percy, recently he was on TV. There's been a show on TV in which people who are partners of famous people talk about their relationship with the famous person.
Yes.
And he was talking about being with you.
Yes.
And some of the things he said have been made a bit of a story in the papers.
Yes.
Which were those things?
The thing about snoring, the fact that I didn't know I snored, but I certainly know that he snores. And, but I said, well, you know, show me a man who doesn't snore, and I'll show you a dead man. Everybody snores.
And so were you cross when he told them about this?
No.
Good. OK.
No, we don't. No, it was just a bit of fun, really.
Yeah. Now, here's something I didn't realise. I love the history of show business, and I've always loved seeing you. But I love your work, and I love the kind of life you've lived. You dated James Dean, is that right?
Well, I didn't exactly date him. I went out with him.
Well, that's going on a date.
Well, one.
That's amazing, though.
But I knew him as a friend because when I first went to Hollywood, I was very lucky. I was only 20, but I got involved in this kind of group with Paul Newman and Marlon Brando and Gene Kelly and James Dean. And we all used to go and hang out at a guy called Oscar Levant, who was a great wit. And James said, "Oh, Jimmy, come in my new car. I've got this new car." It was a red Porsche. And he said, "I'll race you to Arthur and Newman and that. And we'll go to Oscar's, which is in Beverly Hills." So I got in the car with Jimmy, and I've never been so frightened. He went so fast. And, you know, through red lights, through, well, you know Hollywood, through Hollywood, got to Beverly Hills in like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. And I got out and I said, rather prophetically, I think, to Newman and one of them, I said, "God, he could kill himself in that car."
Wow.
And like less than a month later, he did.
Wow, that's powerful.
I know. He was a very driven young man. He was a wonderful actor.
He was incredible.
And he was great fun. He loved Newman and Brando.
You knew Frank Sinatra, I think.
Yes.
You knew Freddie Roy. Did you met Elvis?
I met Elvis, yes. I met Elvis at a party that Rock Hudson gave. And
See, this is magnificent name dropping. I mean, Jack, can you compete with any of this? What's the most glamorous
I was just trying to remember if I was at that party. I don't know.
But I know we had a picture taken because it was a costume party. And I went as a flapper. I always went as a flapper. And Elvis went in, as a cowboy, I think.
Elvis should have just gone as Elvis.
Yeah, I know, that's what he did, really.
He's got the costume, he should make use of it.
You know, we mentioned Dynasty, and I love looking back at Dynasty. Of course, it's hard to envision now that I don't think something could come out which would be that big a hit, unless maybe it'd be like something like Game of Thrones. I mean, it was as big as that. It was a global phenomenon.
Yes, but it was also, just remember, there was only 3 or 4 networks there.
Yeah.
So we would get 25 million people watching.
Wow, it's incredible.
You know, amazing.
Now, I read something recently that you based the character of Alexis on someone who has currently risen to prominence elsewhere, and this is which I hadn't realised.
I know. Well, I actually wrote about it years and years ago, that one of the people that I mentioned was Donald Trump, because he was a very harsh, tough, clever, devious, manipulative, but oh my God, and there he is.
Yeah, there you go. Are you in touch with them now? Are you in touch with the Trumps?
We saw him when Percy and I were buying an apartment in New York a few years ago. He said that he wanted us to buy an apartment at the Trump Tower, his place, and he was kind of very interested in us doing it. Thank God we didn't. You know what the Trump Tower is like now?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to show you have to show your passport. You had to go through security to get into that building.
He looks kind of oily, even back then.
Well, I think it was in his hair, but his hair's a different colour there, isn't it?
Yeah. His hair is actually hair there as well. Now, you were something of a pioneer, because you battled to try and get equal pay with the men in Dynasty. Which is
Well,
very
the one man.
That was Blake.
Yeah, that was John Forsythe.
And
yes.
did you manage that?
Well, I finally managed it because, you know, I became quite popular on the show. But what they did was, when I got parity with him, they cut me out of 5 episodes. I was always called on the carpet by Aaron Spelling or Doug Kramer or one of the producers for refusing to wear a certain dress, because they wanted at first for her to be in like little tweed suits and Peter Pan collars, and I said, I'm not going to. She is, you know, she gets haute couture, she's a jet setter, she's all over the place. She has to be in the highest fashion. And
also the clothes had to be suitable for wrestling in, because she
Yes.
got in a lot of fights.
Yes, she did.
I'm going to enjoy one with you again right
Are
now.
you?
This is a classic, and we might rewind, because there's a few questions I have about this.
All right.
I don't know, I can't remember who you're fighting, I can't remember what happened,
Oh,
but
well,
enjoy this. This is Dame Joan Collins, as only she can be, as Alexis in Dynasty. Look at this.
I don't care what you say to my face, you viper. Retract this or I'll cram it down your throat. Will you? You bitch!
Mother, Dominic, stop it! Stop it! Get up!
Okay, so OK, that was, if you remember, Dynasty, that was a fairly regular occurrence.
Yeah, about
Okay.
3 times or 4 times a season.
I've got 2 questions about that I want to see there. Do you remember what that fight was about?
No,
Okay.
I don't remember what any of it was about.
If you can rewind to there's a bit now when you're on the floor, you didn't do your own stunts.
Yeah, I do some of it.
You did some of them?
Yes.
OK, what's going on here? So just freeze when we see the face. We go here. That's a guy. I mean, that's...
Now, look at the feet. That is my stunt double. Her name was Sandy.
Wow. Well, she's
And,
got
yeah.
a better chin than I've got. I tell you that. I'm impressed by that.
No, but look at the feet. You'd never have a man with feet that
It
size.
looks like a fight between Donny Osmond and Michael Jackson.
Are you going to stick around with us all evening?
I am.
Hope? Dame Joan Collins, ladies and gentlemen. To come on the show, we'll be joined by Natalie Dormer and Rag and Bone Man will be chatting and performing live. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. Before we get my next guest out, let's remind ourselves of him in action. This is a look at his huge hit, Human.
Some people think I can solve them. Lord heavens above, I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me.
Here he is. Come on, it's Rag and Bone Man. Great to have you on the show. I'm so excited you're here because when that song came out and it was a huge hit and I thought, God, this guy's a major talent. I love him, I can't wait to get him. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's all happened kind of quickly for you, hasn't it, I guess?
A little bit.
I mean, you were working for years before you had the hit.
Yeah. For a long...
Please relax.
Yeah, OK. So I haven't got any Valium?
Are you nervous? Are you nervous?
Yes.
Why are you nervous, do you think?
I'm not very good at this stuff. I just do the singing bit.
Yeah. Well, you do that better than anyone else.
Thank you.
So when did you realise that you kind of hit big with this? I mean, when did you think, OK, this is now happening on a bigger scale than previously?
It was when my pals started to ring me from other countries they were in and saying, you're on the radio here. I had mates that were on building sites in Australia saying, dude, I can hear you on the radio. And I was like, that's the other side of the world. So
that's amazing.
Must be going all right.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess there comes a point, there's like a tipping point when you get recognised in public more often.
Yeah, and I can't hide. You know, I'm not hiding behind a lamppost somewhere.
Have you ever tried ducking behind a van or something?
I've tried putting a hoodie on, but people still recognise me.
Yeah,
so you know, it just makes shopping a little bit longer.
Are you OK? Are you comfortable with being when people come up to you?
I don't mind. Most people are nice. Some people just put a phone in front of your face, which I find quite strange. I don't like that part of it.
Now, you came to singing relatively late, didn't you? Taking it as a profession, certainly.
Yeah.
What were you doing before? What jobs did you have before that?
I worked as a carer for 6 or 7 years, looking after people with disabilities.
Wow, what a lovely thing. That's a great thing to do with your life. What kind of age groups were the people you were looking after?
In their late teens to sort of mid-20s, just helping out with their kind of day-to-day stuff.
That must be that's quite a difficult age to be looking after people, I guess, because little kids, I guess, it's probably a little bit easier, depending, obviously, on the different challenges they face, but...
Yeah, I mean, I worked with various different disabilities, and I used to look after a brother and sister with Down syndrome, and everybody said, well, that must be a hard job, very rewarding, but I pretty much spent my day being stupid. And singing along to Disney songs. Yeah, that was pretty much my day-to-day for about 5 years. You get in the car, you listen to Disney songs, you go home, you watch Disney movies, and that was pretty much it.
So we can expect your voice on a Disney movie in the near future,
I would do that, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Do you keep in touch with the kids, the kids you look after?
I do, I go see them at Christmas sometimes. So.
Wow, that's so sweet. Have they been to see you play live?
They haven't, they don't really like crowds, so...
Yeah.
Hopefully they will at some point.
Well, you could come to one of my shows if they don't like crowds.
One of your shows. Yeah, we're going to come.
You know, you're a big guy, we know that. You've already touched on that, but you've also you've got the modern look going perfectly. You're covered in tattoos. There's a lot of them. There's not a lot of space left. Are you looking to get any more?
I just got one of my cat, actually.
Wow. Now, is that your actual cat representing?
That's my actual cat, yeah.
Okay, and is that one of those the Egyptian-style cats? The hairless?
She's a Sphinx cat, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
her name's Patricia.
They're strange.
Yeah, there you go. There she is.
Oh, that's not natural. Is that how you feed her? You chew her first?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been calling you Rory, of course, but we think of you as Rag and Bone Man. That's your stage name. And it's a sweet story where that came from. Can you remind us how you got that name?
When I was a kid, we used to go to my granddad sometimes at the weekend, and my granddad also had a good sense of humour. And we'd sit on the floor sometimes on, I think like Saturday or Sunday morning, and they had reruns of Steptoe and Son. So we'd sit and eat our porridge in the morning, watch reruns of Steptoe, and that's where I got the name Rag and Bone Man from.
Wow. And that's great. And now your grandpa's no longer with us, is he?
No, he passed last year, bless him.
But it's great that he,
he lives on, yeah.
Yeah, you must remember him every time your name is called out, I imagine. Can I ask you about what happened when I bumped into you today coming in here?
Yeah, of course.
OK. So I was excited about you being here. Last time I bumped into you was backstage at the Brits. First time I saw you, and I said, wow, I'm a big fan, it's great to see you. And then here I came in, and I saw you walking towards me, and you're obviously a fairly, you know, a pretty...
rotund gentleman.
Well, I would say an unmistakable figure, so I knew it was you.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of people behind you, but I looked down, but you were pushing a pram.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is what's he pushing a pram? And I thought, has he got something in there for later, like equipment? Or is he resting on it?
Yeah.
But can you tell us who you were bringing to the studio?
It's my little boy. He was born about 5 days ago.
5 days ago? Just a week old now. Amazing, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. You had your partner Beth there with you as well.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name's Ruben.
Wow, that's so exciting. And he's teeny.
He's tiny,
Yeah. So that's wonderful. So now, does that mean that you can't tour for a while? You've got to stay close to home?
No, I'm going to tour. I'm going back on tour in end of October and November. But I get to spend the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks.
What a lovely period. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you very
wonderful.
much.
Thank you. And so what's next for you? You're going to be touring again. You said that you're working on a new album already?
Yeah, I'm going back in the studio, kind of on and off in between being a dad. So, yeah, hopefully I'll come out with a new album fairly soon.
And have you got any tracks written already? You got stuff you know you do?
Yeah, I wrote a couple of new songs a little while back that I didn't use for the album that I really want to use for the next one. So, you know, I've kind of figured out the sound.
And have you been doing them live already, or they're going to be brand new?
No, but I'm going to do them on the next tour and just figure them out and see if people like them.
Give us a preview, just one of the titles.
Well, I actually wrote a song about my boy in the hospital, and we have some good friends, and they have a son called George, and the title of the song is called Now George Has Got a Friend. So.
Wow. Yeah. This is like an episode of The X Factor. The most amazing backstory.
Yeah,
what a journey you've been on. Now, I believe that you're a real fan of soap operas. You love the British soap operas?
Yes.
What's your favourite, if you had to choose one?
I love EastEnders.
EastEnders much more than Corrie?
Yeah, it's the only one I watch.
OK, because Corrie's funnier.
Yeah. I find EastEnders pretty funny.
OK. Now, and I believe you sometimes do you rap to it or you rap about it?
This is what sleep deprivation will do to you. You stay up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I wonder if I can write lyrics with the names of people from EastEnders on it.
And who do you perform these for normally?
Nobody.
OK. So it's just for your own pleasure?
Yeah.
And are they any good?
Probably not.
You know I'm going to ask you if you do one now. I mean, I think we have to hear one if you don't mind.
Well, I have to read it off my phone because I don't actually know the lyrics off by heart.
So you haven't decided whether you're going to include this on an album yet, obviously?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we could collaborate.
OK.
OK.
What's the title of this? Do we have a title?
We don't have a title. OK. But it goes...
Hold it. Is it based on a specific scene?
No, it's just random rhyming words mixed with people from EastEnders.
Inspired?
Yeah.
By EastEnders?
This was written at 4 o'clock in the morning on a tour bus.
So bear that in mind. This is not polished work.
No.
It's a work in progress.
Yes. OK. I can't believe I'm doing this. It goes, I sip a rum with Patrick Truman. You don't like Patrick, you're a waster. If I wanted to be down with the East End girl, I'd get me a Stacey Slater, see you later. I'm off to the Vic for a pint with Billy. See Mick Carter for a pint of lager, no, don't be acting silly. I don't like Chelsea, I don't like Binky, I like Phil Mitchell or Minty. I'm old school, I'm new school, I'm Ben Mitchell or Cindy. Big Ron, Nigel, Tracy or Shrimpy, Big Mo, Little Mo, Pat smokes like a chimney. I take a trip down the market, me and Winston be chilling. I caught me some orange Nikes, because I call them Air Max Brandons. If you need education, you don't need to go college. Just go see Dot at the laundrette, because Dot's got that knowledge.
Yeah, come on. That's a smash hit. Rory, come on. Wow. Hey, it's so good to have you here. You're going to sing live for the end of the show, but you stick around to then.
Of course.
What's the song you're going to do tonight? It's the new single, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called As You Are.
I know you're a huge Game of Thrones fan.
Yes.
OK, are you up to date?
No, I'm way behind.
Well, OK, well, I don't know what we're going to do then, because Natalie Dormer's on and we need to talk about Game of Thrones. I don't want to spoil it for you. We'll figure something out, OK? I promise I won't ruin it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Rag and Bone Man. Still to come, we'll have more from Jack Dean, Joan Collins, Rag and Bone Man, and I'll be joined by the wonderful Natalie Dormer. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. Let's get my next guest out. She's one of the most exciting performers on stage and screen right now. It is the fabulous Natalie Dormer. Natalie Dormer. Take the best of luck.
Okay. Hi again. Hello.
Well, Natalie, that's a sensational outfit, I've got to say. It's a
Thank
wonderful
you
dress.
very much.
Now, it's great to see all your hair's grown back. Last time I spoke to you, you were just about to film The Hunger Games, I think, and you had that half chopped off on that side.
Yes, the undercuts come back. Yeah, oh, there we are. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, my
Was that a
God.
nice experience having that? Was it prickly when it grew back?
I really enjoyed it. I actually did. It was. It's nice to be taken out of your comfort zone every now and then.
You ever gone short, Joan?
Short hair?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
You had a pixie?
No, I had the Vidal Sassoon, done by Vidal Sassoon.
Don't ask who took her to parties, you'll be here all night. It's like it's everyone. So you're back in the West End.
I am.
Venus in Fur is the play. What's that about? I know the title seems familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
So you might know Venus in Furs from the Lou Reed from the
That's
Velvet
where I know it
Underground
from, yeah.
song, because it's a reference to a novel that was written in the 1800s by a man called Sacher-Masoch, and that's where we get masochism from.
Wow.
So it's quite a racy play, but it's a comedy. It's about a young actress who comes into an audition and she's trying to win over the writer-director of this play to cast her, who has written a play based on the Leopold van Sacher-Masoch novel. And it's directed by the amazing Patrick Marber,
great
who
talent.
knows all
Oh,
about
when
sexual
does it
politics.
open?
October, my darling. Please come.
I will.
October the 6th
And
it opens.
Isn't David Oakes, isn't he the brother in
Victoria, yes.
Yeah, he's really good.
My co-star
Yeah,
is David Oakes,
he's
who
really
is,
good.
yes,
Yeah.
Prince Ernest in
That's right.
Victoria.
Rory looks like he's on a bus between two people. Man, I've got to get out of this seat. I've got to get out of this seat. I don't know what's going on here.
No, but I'm gonna
It's been quite a good bus, though, right?
Yeah, it'd be a great bus.
Do you know anything about S&M? Come to the play, you'll find out.
Amazing. Thank you.
So you said the character is at an audition.
Yeah.
Now, have you had those kind of experiences as an actor? Have you had difficult or memorable auditions?
What a bad casting experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we all have, probably. I mean, when I first graduated from drama school, I had some pretty horrific commercials auditions.
Like what? Which sort of products or what?
Yeah, product placement, commercials, so, you know, things where you're asked to come in and, you know, be a chicken or, you know, be a tree or...
So what did you do for a ticket?
I don't remember. It was my career's been going reasonably well.
No, I know.
I can't remember. It was
curious,
quite a long time ago. I don't really remember.
I can't imagine someone doing a bad chicken. I could do... Right, that's a pretty good chicken. Rory, can we hear your chicken? Yeah, that's a very
That's
good...
really good.
That's an amazing chicken.
That's really good. I'll give you the job.
Thank you.
OK, Joan, could we have a little bit of poultry from you?
No, I don't think it's so much the noise. I mean, if you saw Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie, it's the attitude of the chicken.
OK, what would that be? Wow. I think that's good, that's good. That chicken's already on the menu in Nando's, that one, I think.
Yeah.
Jack, can we see your
Or do you want to be a cock?
I already am.
She's still got it. She's still got it, ladies and gentlemen. Jack, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Can I be honest with you? No.
That was
He just stole Rag and Bone Man's chicken. That's all you did.
No, that was the
There's
chicken.
no originality in your
chicken
battle.
mildly under threat.
Natalie, I really want to see you on stage. The play sounds amazing. I've loved seeing the movies, but in Game of Thrones in particular, do you have any Game of Thrones fans in? Because you were amazing in that. And that was a complicated part. And now we're going to talk about that bit. Of course, you played Marjorie. I don't know how much I can say just yet because Rory, Mr. Rag and Bone right there, you're not up to date, are you?
No.
Well, while we talk about it, I've got you some Game of Thrones headphones, so you can put them on, and we're going to play the theme in there so you can't hear what we're saying.
Thank you. These are very snazzy.
You can use those in your act.
Very good.
Jack, I've got some for you, because I know that you might want to catch up on it. I've got you a direwolf set.
All right.
OK? So we've got the Dragon and the Direwolf. Joan, now, I have a set here if you want. Are you...
No, I've never seen it.
Are you
Sorry,
worried about
Natalie.
keeping
And I want to start from the beginning.
OK, so would you like to avoid hearing about it, which means you have to wear
I'd
the...
like to hear about it.
You'd like to hear about it?
Yes, I would.
So you don't want to wear this?
No.
That's a surprise. OK. So if you've got any Game of Thrones fans who are watching and you don't want to know what's happened recently, then you maybe might want to wander out the room for a minute, because that's the terrible thing, is trying to keep it a secret and it must drive you crazy, because people who've seen it want to talk to you about it, and those who haven't don't want to know, do they? How do you deal with keeping the secret?
Well, no, but it's great now because I don't know anymore.
Because you're gone.
I'm gone, so I have no idea. So I'm watching season 7 the way everyone else is watching season 7. Yeah. I've gone back to just being a pure fan, like I was the first season I watched it, and I love not knowing.
And so when Marjorie died, and I don't want to give these guys away, but when you died, how did you find out? Do you know when you first sign on, or is that kept a surprise for you until right before the time?
It's normally a phone call right before the time, but I sort of got ahead of the game because I was badgering the creators a year before to release me for a couple of dates. You know how shooting schedules can be, as you know, overlapping.
Very tight, yeah.
Dan and David, the creators of the show, said, made a call with me and said, sorry, Nat, we're not going to release you. You're going to have to shoot next year. But don't worry, darling, we're killing you next year.
Wow. That's kind of a brutal way to hear it.
It wasn't that harsh. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But they thought they were doing me a like, you know, they thought they were giving me good news.
Well, they kind of
They
were.
It was bittersweet, yeah?
And no one is safe in Game of Thrones. No one is safe.
And everyone knows that, right? So but I had the unique position over a lot of cast members, as in I knew when my time was coming.
And so you don't know how it's going to end?
I really don't, and I'm so excited. And when that dragon went into the ice and then got pulled back out...
That was amazing.
I was like...
Hold on, we give you warning. Why are you still sitting there? There's no way you can blame us for this.
Put your hands in your ears.
Okay.
I texted Dan and I emailed Dan and David, and I was like, I can't believe I'm crying over a CGI dragon.
Yes. OK, so listen, I'd love to show a clip of your final moments, but I've just realised you haven't seen this. You can take one.
He can't hear you.
I'm going to show a clip.
OK.
I don't want you to
the
see this either.
really
Hold on, let me see.
Yes,
okay,
it really is over and over and
I've
over
got the
again.
other half. I've got the other halves here. This will complete the look, so you can't see it. So there's your dragon face.
Oh, Jesus.
OK, you're a driver. OK, that's good. That's looking good. You're looking good. OK. If at home you don't want to see this clip, it's from what I've seen earlier on, then put your own equipment on as well. You in the audience. This is a classic moment from Game of Thrones with Natalie Dormer. Look at this.
Let me through. Let me through. Let us through.
When you had them on, if someone just tuned it did look like a weird swingers party going on.
Am I right to take these home?
You can have them if you want.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Natalie, I cannot wait to see you on stage. The place sounds amazing. It's called Venus in Verse. It opens October the 6th here in London at the Haymarket. Great to have you. Natalie Dormer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Natalie. OK. So we've got incredible live music for you in a minute from the one and only Rag and Bone Man. You need to go off and warm up, I think, a bit beforehand.
Indeed.
So we'll let you go. Rag and Bone Man's going to perform for us live over there. Thanks for being here, Roy. I'll see you in a minute. Thanks to all of my guests tonight, Natalie Dormer, Dame Joan Collins, Jack D, and of course Rag and Bone Man. Join me next week when my guests will be Noel Fielding and Paul Hollywood. We've also got from Kingsman 2, Jeff Bridges, Julianne Moore and Taron Egerton, and we've got music from Craig David. But now, if you haven't seen him perform before, you're in for a treat. Here he is with his new single, As You Are, the one and only Rag and Bone Man.
It's a blessing that we made it here so far. And if you lay here in these arms tonight, I promise to take you as you are.
You raised the lights when it was frightening. You calmed the storm when it was lightning. You found me there where I was hiding. And all we have is here and now. If the ground beneath our feet is disappeared, oh, I'll be here beside. I'll always be right near. Remember me, won't you? I know we've all got our problems, and it's a blessing that we made it here so far. And if you lay here in these arms tonight, I promise to take you as you are. When I was reaching out in the dark, when the streets below me just looked so far, when I forgot everything that I was, all we have is here and now. If the earth beneath our feet is old and caves in, for a second we are fine, or it's late in the evening. Don't let me go here. No, we've all got our problems. It's a blessing that we made it here so far. If you lay here in these arms tonight, I promise to take you as you are. I know we've all got our problems. It's a blessing that we made it here so far. If you lay in these arms tonight, I promise to take you as you are. Promise to take you as you are. I promise to take you as you are.